I don't know whether to record or not.
I thought we were supposed to be recording, right?
It's not.
Like,
no, as in his computer cannot handle.
Okay.
Hello? Yeah, can. Yeah, lor, so we rely on the Twitch bot. Okay. We're actually live, I think.
Yeah.
We're live. We just use this bot. We are live, we are live.
Yeah.
Alright, so welcome to today's treasure hunt number 4. My name is Matthew.
My name is Martin.
And we will be taking you through today's 5 Swiss rounds followed by top 8 card.
Yeah.
22 players.
So we have 22 players, and this is the 4th edition of the Treasure Hunt series, first time in this month featuring Regulation C. So to recap, right, Regulation C is the first time that we'll be featuring the Ruin Pokemon based off Chinese mythology, right? We have Ting Lu, Jian Bao, Wo Jian, and Shi Yu. Yeah, so it's just a quick refresh for everyone who doesn't know what Regulation C is for.
Right, so straight up we have both players running the Ting Lu here. Farman's team is the Chansey, Gotitel, Azumaru, Ting Lu, Among Us, and Arcanine.
Yeah, whereas for Jasdil, his team looks very familiar. I think it was potential perish trap because of the fact that his Ting Lu doesn't have this move that. So at least if he can at least eliminate one Pokemon from his end, or rather the Trapper, which is Goth on Farman's team, that could be his out. But currently, I don't think his team has that ability to do that. Yeah.
I mean, the problem here is that even if he had the move, he will essentially only have one window to hit it. Because the turn 1 when Perish goes up, he gets faked out.
True
then
though.
turn 2, that's protect. Turn 3 is the only chance he gets to press Fissure, and turn 4 you protect again, and then it's over. So even if he had Fissure, there isn't really a clear-cut answer to Perish. But here, our players are going in here. It's going to be Gotitel and Arcanine up for Farman. So who gets trapped on JS side? It's going to be the Arcanine and Excalibur. Trapped and intimidated. Not ideal for these two, I would
Especially for Excalibur, which is heavily, being a physical attacker, right? Oh, but he has clear amulet. Let's not forget
he has
about.
clear amulet there, so it does stop the intimidate. But he doesn't really have a strong. I mean, he has neutral damage, of course, in the Glaive Rush.
But Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, I don't think the Arcanine is not. I would say it should be bulky enough to at least take the Glaive Rush. I would think so. Yep. Okay, he chooses to withdraw. Likely.
Azumaru, if he has it,
Or
he
even
is the Azumaru. Azumaru has pretty good coverage against. Does resist ice attacks, and he's not affected by the dragon attacks.
Immune as well, yeah. So he chooses to fake out the Arcanine. Glaive Rush. Oh, he chooses to go for the Goth instead. Good damage there.
Damage there. It's going to activate the Citrus Barrier on Farman's side. And Gotitel can't take another hit though. Now Excalibur has to. I suppose even though you have Glaive Rush last turn, there isn't really a reason to protect. You're not really scared of damage coming from the opposing side.
That's
even
fair.
with the double damage.
Yeah. And it is really a prime chance for Farman to just protect and just go for a Perish Storm straight up.
Yeah. There isn't really an answer to the Perish Storm. The Azumaru's typing isn't really threatened by either the Excalibur or the Arcanine. Arcanine can of course boost, but again, Azumaru does take a lot of damage from Excalibur's attacks.
Okay, let's go.
Ooh,
going for the flinch or Icicle Crash.
Does connect, so he does get the attack. Doesn't get the flinch though. So Perish Storm does go off, and Excalibur and Arcanine are now on the timer.
I think offline we did discuss that. I think the good reason for typical people to run Icicle Crash is for the flinch chance. But in Excalibur's case, it's actually a very good step. Good
It's his
damage
only
as well.
step. The
Yeah,
problem
in
with Excalibur is that he doesn't even get the chance to learn Ice Spinner. So he doesn't even have the choice between Ice Spinner and Icicle Crash.
And you have to gamble with the inaccuracy at times.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Other than that, or you have to run the Icicle Spear, which is also a gamble in a different sense.
Not too reliable, isn't it? I mean, for Farman to, I guess the prime choice would be for Azumaru to protect and switching in something that it can take attacks from Arcanine and Excalibur and then switch in Goth the next turn. But the thing is,
he needs whatever to switch in to get knocked out. So the question here is, does GS double target into the slot Because the problem for them is that if Gottidel stays in, that's exactly what he wants to. He wants to double target Gottidel this turn. But Gottidel switches out, he double targets something that gets knocked out, and Gottidel comes in for free, which means Arcanine and Backstabber are trapped for good.
Yeah. So he chooses to go for probably predicting the ice attack on the Goth. I would assume so.
But then if Arcanine doesn't get knocked out, then JS can just switch out of Perish Song.
Okay, at least both can switch out now because there's no more threat.
Oh, but he Glaive Rush. That's going to knock out the Arcanine, I think.
For sure, right?
And I think Farman's quite happy with that. Now
Because
Gottidel comes in, resets his fake out, and can protect again.
Yeah, and for the +2. And in fact, I think if Azumaru went for the play rough instead.
Yeah, good damage even though it doesn't have the huge power, but thanks to the Glaive Rush, resulting in double damage on the Excalibur.
I was quite surprised that he didn't go for the Terra Poison. I mean, which from what we can see from the open team sheet, right? Perhaps he didn't find value in doing that.
I think he didn't think Farman would actually go for the attack that turn.
Or expecting the Azumaru to protect, like
Yes.
right? So
Arcanine is back at neutral after 2 Intimidates and 2 Howls. But we expect Excalibur to get faked out this turn. It is the big offensive threat on GS's
fake out
side.
and Azumaru to protect.
I mean, Azumaru can attack again.
Can attack again if he chooses.
And knock out Excalibur if he
right?
wants.
Yeah. From what I see, Azumaru also, but he only has, he has no water attack though. He might get knocked out. They probably not. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, but Excalibur has to protect there from potential fake out and pair of combination. Gottidel will have to fake out that slot. So
Okay, chooses to go for the
doesn't even go for the fake out actually. Maybe doesn't knock out the Gottidel. Gottidel hangs on. Arcanine was at neutral, there's 0 boost. And Arcanine, Azumaru does pair off to go for the Excalibur, doesn't get the knockout. So Azumaru's Perish Count goes to 1, along with Arcanine and Excalibur this turn.
But isn't this Trick Room suboptimal then? Because he will go down last.
Doesn't matter. The order in which they go down doesn't really matter because it's not like they're down to the last 2.
Last 2 anyway, yeah. So
Farman could easily just switch out the Azumaru.
then what would Gottidel do then in this case?
Or Farman could just double protect. Stack the Azumaru, get rid of the last 2 and bring JS down to his last 2. But that depends on what Farman's last slot is.
Yeah.
Farman chooses to preserve his Azumaru. But it's honestly a very vulnerable double target. If JS goes for the Glaive Rush into the Among Us, that's going to be a knockout, I think.
Definitely, right? Because of the Howl earlier. Unless he resets due to
Goes for
Glaive
exchange
Rush,
speed.
right?
Yeah, and Backstabber should just Glaive Rush the Azumaru slot.
Yeah,
but because Azumaru is... Oh, but he does call it.
That was quite a good read, isn't
So he
it?
does Glaive Rush into what was a Fairy type Azumaru, predicting
Yeah.
that Farman would in fact switch it out. He does get the knockout.
I personally would have let the Goth go down, because it was the last turn. Or even just protect. Simply protecting both would be more optimal.
But protect both, you lose your Azum and your... You lose your...
Azumaru only, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
And then
now-
you'll just be left down with the last 2. So,
But Farman chooses to go for the Azumaru because he wants to set up Perish Song again.
okay.
But then again, then the problem there would be that he would go down Oh, actually he wouldn't because...
he will go down first. He will now go down first, right? So he will lose because he goes down first.
Yeah, because in this situation, Fluttermane will be the one that knocked out last for Perish Song.
Yeah.
And even in that case, I don't think Farman can hang on long enough.
But at least JS has the so-called Trick Room answer in his team, which is the Among Us. So at least he can try to... Now because the God has protected, Among Us can put the God to sleep. So preventing...
At this point, Polypath will knock out Gottidel anyway. So why would you even bother putting it to sleep?
maybe it's just somehow my own defensive play mindset, probably. But they are
But he needs to be careful not to pressure. Actually, he can even spoil the Azumaru. Azumaru isn't running Step Slipper. He's running the Thick Fat.
Okay, he chooses to go for the Terra on
No, it could be either player actually. Or it could even be GS.
Flutter, okay.
Is that Steel?
No,
it's
it's
Fairy,
actually
okay.
Fairy, holding the choice specs. Somehow I feel Moonblast is coming directly on the, or even Dazzling Blade per se,
Okay, Polymath will knock out the Gottidel.
for sure.
And I don't see a way in Azumaru, even with a crit, I don't think that's enough to knock out the Fluttermane. And he has the Perish Song, and yeah, Farman kind of ran out of answers there. He didn't really set up the Perish Song efficiently because the Excalibur was doing too much damage.
Plus the fact that he somehow timed his Trick Room setting to his disadvantage in some way, isn't it? Because
Azumaru actually survives here, and actually, yeah, the problem there is that Among Us is the fastest thing is the slowest thing on the field. So the problem here is that Azumaru is sandwiched speed-wise. So even if Farman gets off triple protect from here, he is still not going to be the last one to get knocked out because the Fluttermane is the slowest thing on the field under Trick Room.
Yeah, so therefore, how many turns of Trick Room has already passed?
It's not going to be enough.
Not enough
Yeah,
for
to outlast the Perish
Song, right?
And even if it did, Among Us would then become the slower. So either way, Farman loses. He needs to knock out either of these two.
Okay, sure.
And he doesn't really have an answer to it.
Yeah. He can just Rage Powder away even if he chooses to target the Flutter Mane, right? So, and then Among Us being Among Us can then resist against the play route from.
Yeah, it's not even like he Terra to a grass to be able to ignore the Rage Powder. He's Terra to steal.
Yeah, correct.
It's not going to matter in this situation.
Somehow I felt he stumbled. I mean, it was quite a good.
It looked good, but once Backstabber got boosted up, it was very hard for him to come back.
Yeah.
And even if he had, like, we saw he started to sack the Among Us stuff with Azumaru. But even if he had been the other way around, he has no way to win the game.
I just felt that he could have played in the Trick Room scenario more because, like, if he chooses, you see, if he pressed Glaive Rush, then Azumaru would have stayed in.
Honestly, the
would
problem
have been immune to it.
The problem with Farman there is that he should have just let Azumaru Octodel. He had to waste one turn switching in and then setting up Perish Song. And that one turn was enough to give Excalibur an additional boost from the Howl.
Giving him too much time to, giving JS too much time to set up.
You see what if he had just let Azumaru Octodel, he can just go for the fake up Perish Song immediately.
The instant Perish Song pressure is there.
And which means that the Excalibur doesn't get a Howl immediately.
Exactly, and JS will be more forced to maneuver around, to try to not let the two just go down to Perish Song.
So I'm actually curious as to why he didn't just lead Azumaru Octodel. I don't really see great answers. In fact,
like the Arcanine Goth was kind of weird, you know. I don't, unless he was like expecting maybe Arcanine Palafin.
Especially since
something like that.
Palafin players just don't want to bring Palafin into a Cotidel matchup because you're stuck in your zero form.
And the fact that without going to the hero form, it will not be doing meaningful damage.
Yeah. So in fact, Farman is can pretty safely assume that JS doesn't want to bring Palafin into this matchup.
True. I would agree as well.
So the Arcanine was. I'm supposed to be scared of Flutter Mane, but at the same time, he has the Steel Terror on Azumaru, so he has that option.
He has to be very aware that he has to play a game where he doesn't need to attack Flutter Mane directly.
I think he expected JS to lead Flutter Mane because players like to lead Flutter Mane into Cotidel because then you have the freedom to switch out of the trap.
Or even go out front for the Shadow Ball.
Yeah.
Boost Choice Specs boosted Shadow Ball even, right? Depending on the EV spread, you can just KO outright sometimes. So I guess he was preparing for that.
Otherwise, his best answer to Flutter Mane is the Chansey, which does not care about any of it. Although Side Shock will hurt because Side Shock does go off the base defense.
Yeah.
But not as much as the step attacks.
But what does Farman's Arcanine carry? Wild Charge, Flare Blitz, Terra Blast, and Extreme Speed. Okay. Either way, it wouldn't have done too much.
Here is the Chansey. So Farman deciding that the trap is not working for him, as JS does adjust with the Flutter Mane. And Chansey actually in an okay position. Excalibur's attacks do hurt, but neutral damage isn't as bad. The evil light.
Will you think that Sing is likely coming? Maybe putting something to sleep will be good.
The thing here is that you really want to have Chansey and Azumaru under Trick Room, and he doesn't have Trick Room set up right now.
Or like switch out something, switch out Azu and make the Goth come in and sing something. But set up Gravity first.
Azumaru's play rough is a very good option against the Excalibur, especially since he really wants to.
But that Poison Terra though, I mean, he has to be very mindful of that, isn't it?
I think Farman's happy if he can get JS to commit to the Poison Terra.
How so though? Because
we are going to see Side Shock here off Chansey's base defense. How much does this do? Specs, this is Flutter Mane's strongest attack on the. It does double into Chansey. Is that going to be enough? No, not even enough. Close. We do see play rough into the Excalibur, even with the Glaive Rush boost, that's more than half. As Chansey goes for the gravity. So now play rough no longer able to miss. But Chansey not going to be able to take 2 more hits. So he will be able to take 1 more Side Shock, I think.
Just now we looked at it chipped about maybe 10-20% of his.
I think
he's still in range. Can take 1 Side Shock, but definitely not another Glaive.
And definitely not a combination of Ice Shard and Side Shock.
Side Shock, yeah. It would have been enough because he has that option. Perhaps preparing for.
Arcanine comes in here, intimidates the Azumaru, which actually is helpful.
I guess this was more to maneuver to prepare for
Does
Howl
Chansey
boost.
stay in though? Chansey does switch out. Does
To
he have a
golf.
Does he have a dragon resist? I don't think the rest of the team. It's gonna be Tinglu, which is neutral and doesn't reduce
And it's-
physical or damage.
His is not a sword vest, right? His is leftover section.
It actually goes for protect. Not one to get knocked out by the Payraf. Assemble does go for the Payraf.
That was a very good protect from JS actually.
I think he might have survived after they intimidate, but barely, just barely.
It was a 2-hit on neutral, therefore, oh yeah, safe to assume that it will be a 3-hit.
Martin, who won't give up?
JS. So,
So does someone commit the Terra on the Tinglu here?
should he?
I don't really want. I
I don't
he
think
wants
that's
to,
wise, right?
But the ice weakness though. The ice weakness against Excalibur. It's very dangerous. Especially now Excalibur can no longer miss in the gravity.
True. Okay, now he didn't go
didn't
for
Terra
Terra
though.
at all.
Excalibur could just go for the ice credit.
Oh, I see he will KO it.
No, he won't KO.
Okay.
No, not at +1.
What is he going to go for?
Piraf, yeah, no. That's
Wow,
after the
so
intimidate.
little.
Ooh, it does go for the rest. Oh boy.
Oh, let's not forget he also has Sleep Talk. He can actually have the option.
That's what he's going for, yeah.
going for the RNG outright. I mean, for the audience,
There's a 50% chance of hitting an attacking move and 30% chance of hitting that attacking move.
hitting, yes, and that's Fisher for you guys. So it has been very well talked and very proved some controversy out there. But
Just to clarify, gravity does not affect Fissure.
yes, it doesn't.
That's
yes.
like the accuracy of Fissure.
Yes, it
that's
does not.
that's allow you to hit flying types though.
That is the main added advantage because people have thought that I counter Fissure by having flying type, but with gravity it just makes that point moot altogether.
Yes, going to Terra. Is that Arcanine?
Why would he do that?
This Excalibur, but Excalibur is going to get knocked out by another Piraf regardless, right? I mean, with a resist and without Glaive Rush, maybe he survives, but
But he's probably expecting to
what's the point of this though?
it's forcing the commit a bit
It's
too
a steel Terra, I guess. Oh, it's gonna be Tinglu. That's
Tinglu?
water, I think.
Terra water based on the open team sheet. Perhaps expecting a ice attack this time again, right? He has to be, otherwise I don't see
Arcanine
any
House
reason
again.
for him to do that.
Okay. So Excalibur goes to +2 attack. Arcanine as well, right? No, actually Arcanine at +1.
Yeah.
Because I see crash into the water now, so that's gonna be much more comfortable for
Not too
Tinglu.
much.
The Spirit does connect.
Okay, now I understand
okay,
why.
that's why he
Probably
Terra.
he already factored the count, right? So
After the Intimidate and with the resist as opposed to the weakness.
Yep.
But here comes Sleep Talk.
Sleep Talk. Fisher?
Yeah.
I just
Fisher,
oh, it hits!
Oh, he connects on the 13 HP, 23 HP.
Not the
Excalibur.
most meaningful target, if I mean on retrospect, right? Because
But yeah, he does waste JS's Terra there though.
long term wise, I think from long term perspective, yeah, true, fair enough.
Yeah, he didn't really have answer to the move. He had to hit Fissure. Because Azumarill was not going to kill the poison Excalibur anytime soon.
There's RNG for you guys. There's RNG. But I don't think now. I mean, both are neutral nature, and knowing the fact that Farman can't commit to a steel Terra.
The worry for Farman now is that he has reserved the Arcanine because if Arcanine goes down, Chansey wins the game. Okay, Chansey can't win again. Chansey has no attack.
Yeah,
but,
Chansey has no attack. That's right. So
that's not as much of a concern as I did think for a moment. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, but I think Fluttermane has good power now, like just dazzling, dazzling gleam, and Arcanine can just straight up attack, wild charge even on the.
yeah, so Farman brings Chansey back in.
I would like to think the dazzling gleam will KO it. Wow, look at the damage!
Oh, it's a crit.
From the
though.
Howl, right?
Yeah.
From the Howl also.
The Howl and the crit.
Yeah.
And Luba's double target won't take out the Azumarill.
He chose to lock himself in Moonblast. That's very interesting. I would have opted for Dazzling. The Dazzling should be enough.
I think he wants single target damage. Especially since the Chansey has Heal Pulse. So he has to be careful about who he wants to target.
Although, judging from that potential switch in, or rather from the potential switch out of Tinglu, any reason why do you think that he would want to do that? In that case. He could just stay in, right? Just stay in and just try for the feature again, right?
I think he thought the double was coming onto Tinglu's slot.
The wild charge plus
the
some
special attack,
like
yeah.
dazzling wild charge would have killed it anyway. No, maybe no.
Probably not. Not with Tinglu's bulk.
Bulk, yeah.
So
Okay.
pick out into the Arcanine here, as we're going to see Moonblast from the Fluttermane. Into the Gothitelle probably.
Chansey.
Oh, tries for the Chansey, doesn't get hit.
Some point.
Chansey does connect the sync there, gravity is still up.
Still up. I think there's still the last turn, if I'm not wrong.
This is the last one, I
Yeah,
believe.
it should be the last turn based on our.
But
Okay,
now
it should be the
Chansey
second last
should
turn.
be taken out by the extreme speed. Godzilla can't figure out again.
It should just go for the attack, right? If I were to cover for it, I would go for Wild Charge. Just in case the Tinglu comes in, right? Okay, he chooses to switch out the Goth, and in comes Tinglu on that slot instead. But he's still sleeping, so it's not much of a threat, I would think.
Well.
Okay, he chooses to go for it, seriously.
It's half the threat, I suppose. Because he still has a 50% chance of hitting the move.
The fissure, though, the fissure. I would think Wild Charge would have been okay. I mean, may not need the extreme speed because there's no trick room setup. Both are still faster than the both of the two Pokemon.
So Godzilla will come back in and will refresh his fake out. So he's gonna fake out the Arcanine, and you would presume press the Sleep Talk again. But the thing is for Pharma is that he cannot direct his fissure. Fissure will go into either of the two if he does choose fissure and if fissure connects.
But I think it doesn't matter for him, right?
For me, it only takes a 1 turn of sleep. To Moonblast into the Gothitelle. It's about
still sizable, still sizable.
Even with Tinglu's Vessel of Ruin. Here's Sleep Talk. First things first, what move does he get? Does he get rest or does he get fissure? He gets fissure. He does not connect.
Okay, does not connect. I can hear he's breathing a sigh of relief right now at the strip table. Imagine that if he connected again. that could have been quite disastrous. I mean, okay, maybe not because if he hits the but if he hits the flutter, it could be a problem.
Probably,
he can't remove him at all, right?
Yeah, I think that Farman recognized that the Gothitelle is the Moonblast into the water Tinglu. Again, about the same damage as into Gothitelle.
Wild Charge?
Spot Flare Blitz into Gothitelle. Does Farman rest again is the question. I think so.
He should, right? I will feel so.
Expecting the double.
Yeah,
Just wake up. And he rest again, he does rest again. Okay.
Because I think he is well aware that the combination of Moonblast and Wild Charge would not be able to take out Tinglu, and he gives him another opportunity to press the fissure again.
Doesn't have Wild Charge. Just doesn't have.
He has.
He has.
Oh, he has Wild Charge.
Just Farman.
I see. Okay. Maybe So apologies.
I think it goes for double protect. Does not get it. But honestly, it is just bonus for Farman's. Farman's only way to win the game is through Tinglu.
Through Tinglu and fissuring. I think the Howl really paid dividends because the after the 2 boosts, he was able to almost one-shot everything in Farman's team. The Bard wasn't able to pull through for him actually.
Yeah, in the end, Farman's gonna have to
bang on fissure
so
again.
far, his Sleep Talk has chosen fissure twice already.
Yep. Rest? Fissure?
No, it's gonna be
not connecting. Yep.
So far, 30% is correct. He's hit one out. He's hit 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3. But I guess it's still. I would say JS probability-wise is really much to his favor.
Goes for the extreme speed. Let's get a critical hit. Honestly, JS should be pressing Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz does more damage.
But I think it's just according to when I spoke to him offline, he was not too familiar with this team, so perhaps not knowing the cards that well. But the he's another fissure again.
But I don't think he can take another hit from Arcanine.
Unless the next Sleep Talk.
No,
yeah,
but
I don't think so.
Go before the rest.
Correct. So
that crit method, that crit was a big crit for JS.
Because he wouldn't have done so
he
much,
survives
right?
one more hit from Arcanine.
He wouldn't have done so much, isn't it?
Now I think a combination of attacks should bring down.
Yep. Polar Path plus any attack of Fish.
Polar Path will go after rest, so Arcanine needs to get a KO now before it rests. But I think Flare Blitz is enough. Without the crit, I think Tinglu survives and rests again. So that was a very important crit for JS.
But there was no trick room, isn't it? So it will be Arcanine, Tinglu, and...
But Tinglu will just rest.
Okay, yeah.
So
okay,
it doesn't really matter.
What you said is
so
enough.
Just get a KO.
Yep. And JS takes the set for round 1 of Swiss.
Yeah.
Well, on retrospect, do you...
That looked like a pretty meaningless crit on the Arcanine, but it really mattered. He got the fissure, and he got the fissure target on the Flutter Mane.
Making, I should say, doing just enough for the Flare Blitz to clean up.
Yeah.
In this case.
Yes. I think without the crit, Tinglu can take 1 more, and Tinglu just get to rest and start the cycle all over again.
Yes. Did he boost twice or boost thrice?
He boosted twice, but he was intimidated once.
So it will be plus one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that with Tinglu's bout, +1 would have done a lot, to be honest. I mean, that crit, as what you say, was it helped to advance the board to the point where he was able to clean up there. Otherwise,
I mean, we say all this.
Have dragged out,
we say all this, but Farmer still needed to hit 2 more fissures. So it might not, it probably didn't matter in the long run.
Yes, yeah.
But with Fissure, you know, you never know. I don't think GS wanted to know. So I'm sure GS is very happy to have that end in 2 games.
Yes, of course. I mean, however, I felt that Farman's piloting of the at the second game of this for the Paris trap, he didn't even bother to deploy that well. In fact,
I think he realized there wasn't really a way for him to set up Paris trap in front of the Hull Arcanine. He was just boosting the back caliber to the point where he would just knock out everything on Farman's side.
Would you think that the Singe, or rather the putting the Arcanine to sleep should be his priority instead of Excalibur?
But then he would need to hit 55% sync. Because he wouldn't have the time to set up gravity. He would need to put the Arcanine to sleep immediately.
Because the doubling would have burned 1 turn, and then he was already in the red after all the whatever was already set up, right? So, just somehow I felt the matchup was.
And I don't actually. And I think gravity will go after the Azumarill.
Based on that turn order, yeah. I don't know what was the exact speed here at that point in time. But because he let Chansey
Azumarill was 1 speed. Now that we look at it,
it was correct. It was
than
play
Chansey.
rough then gravity, right?
So he wouldn't be able to get gravity sync on the same turn. So yeah, I don't think that was a real. He will have to hit blind sync.
Try to go for the 55%.
Yep.
55% is still
It's better than Fissure. He hit his first Fissure, so you never know.
better than Hypnosis. Is Hypnosis
No,
the
Hypnosis
same?
is better. Hypnosis is
65%.
60.
Or 60%. Yeah, so
In fact, sync even under gravity is not 100% accurate.
it's about 90 plus percent, right?
92, yeah, it's 92.
Yeah, so somehow I felt the second lead felt a bit weaker. I mean, the first one was just him playing Paris Trap not efficiently as he hoped to. Then somehow I felt the Paris Trap would have been better, isn't it?
I think he had let Azumarill consider he might have had a chance. But that one turn having to switch in, he gave Jess a head start.
It was such a waste. That Azumarill going down was just not necessary. In fact, he could have just stayed in, let Azumarill do a bit more.
No, it wouldn't have mattered because then Farman cannot win the game with just Cortitel and Among Us. There's no way for him to get knockouts with Cortitel and Among Us. So he needed Azumarill. But in the end, he didn't have enough to set up a second Paris song.
Okay, so he killed 2, but just wasn't enough to put it
because
through.
the last one was Fluttermane.
Was doing way too much already.
We saw he let Arcanine and
Max.
Excalibur.
Yeah.
So the only way for one to win is situation if his back 2 were Among Us and Tinglu, then yeah, you can set up Paris song again. But he had Fluttermane instead, so that was too much damage from one side.
And he didn't even bother to didn't even need to use the Terra on the Fluttermane to he was dishing out so much damage really at the point in time there, where his team just couldn't handle it any further.
Yeah, so well played to GS not getting shenanigan.
Not getting fissured.
Not getting shenanigan by
Or rather,
Farman.
fissured twice but still came out on top. So that's good on you, GS. Yeah, so we shall take a break and we will bring to you round 2 of Swiss for the Treasure Hunt 4 brought to you by the Trainer Shed. We'll see you later.